What's going on, guys? What's going on? So we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back after a somewhat cluster, you know what, in the first stream. If any of you guys were here for the first stream, um, I'll just kind of recap, right? So what we're doing here is we started a new Topstep Combine account. And what we're doing with this new Topstep Combine account is going to go ahead and play small size, right? So I've been teaching a lot on how to trade futures. I've been teaching a lot of the strategies that I've been using, this, that, and the other. So what we're trying to do here is kind of go through the process, show that, we can get funded and add to our assets under management using these particular strategies and not risking a whole lot, right? So we're going to be playing anywhere between 2 and 4 micro contracts. Currently we're sitting up about $175 on a day. Now in the first stream I had such a problem with Trader Vape. I don't know if the platform got frozen or I got stuck in a position. I was long, got stuck in a position, market pulled back, could not get out of the position. And I'm trying to, jump on the phone with Topstep, jump on the phone with Trader Vape, find out something, as to what's going on here. As to why I couldn't close that position. Ended up going down in a position. By the time I finally restarted the computer, got back on, what I went ahead and did was flip to the long side here. And what I was looking at was the little bit of decline here that we had, this pullback that I got trapped in when I couldn't get out of my position. Now that original position, I took 4 micro contracts, locked in a really quick $75 on 2. And I was holding 2 runners. And when I was holding those 2 runners was when I couldn't get out of those positions. And then those contracts ended up going down 100. So what I did was flip to the long side. Once I seen the bottoming out process here, I seen the first green candle take out red. I went ahead and used the low wicks as my stop and rode this into the 5, 10, and then a little bit of those 2 contracts into the middle of this range between the 10 SMA as well as the 20 SMA there. And then was able to recover that, currently up $190 on the overall position. Right now, what I'm looking at here, we're coming into the New York lunch hour session. I'm looking at a short position, currently sitting short here. Now, what I'm doing, and if I could pull up my drawing tool, I've got to pull up the drawing tool in a minute. What I'm looking at here is a stop loss over 15,149. That's just over this top wick. So if we make a new high over 15,150, I'll go ahead and get out of this position here. Currently only down $5-6 on the position, trading 2 micro contracts. So we're looking to take this nice and slow. A little bit of a reversal candle here. We could continue to push to the upside here in the New York lunch hour session, but what I'm looking for, just a small little scalp, small little cash flow trade here. See if we can kind of come back down and back test this 5 and 20-day moving average. But again, market's been strong for the past 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes. So the past 30 to 45 minutes here, we have been pushing to the upside. Again, just looking for a little bit of a pullback, giving myself some calculated risk management here over the 15,149. And if we get stopped out, we get stopped out. There's no harm, there's no foul. Still going to be net positive on the day. Currently taking 3 trades here between the NQ and the MNQs. Again, I did trade an MNQ contract. There was only 1 contract at the time. I was able to lock in $190 on the 1 contract on this reversal bounce here. So all I'm really looking to do here is see, do we get a little bit of continued back pressure here? If we kind of look at my big boy chart and we look at where we started, we had the initial drop off the open. We had the aggressive bounce off of our linear regression. Okay. Then we had some consolidation period here between 7:30 and around 8:30 before this next decline. When we came back down into this Bollinger Band, we've been on this uptrend here, kind of coming back into all of this short-term 5-minute supply. Now there will be a little bit of a long position that I'll look to take over 15,150. I'll look to take a little bit of a long position. We've got some room to kind of come back into the 70s and 80s here on the NQ. If we do kind of continue to push higher here, all I'm looking for is kind of see right now particularly is does this 50 SMA kind of hold us down? If it doesn't hold us down and we don't break down below the 5 moving average to kind of come test this 20, and we do break to the top side, I will consider getting in on the long side here. So we're just kind of watching the markets right now as we get into this New York lunch hour. Typically, moves in the New York lunch hour tend to kind of reverse a little bit right? So if we were currently on a downtrend, we can look for some consolidation with a slight bounce. If we were currently coming off of an uptrend, we can look for a little consolidation, a little bit of a back test. That's all I'm really looking for here. Again, once we do start to clear out the supply over 15,150, we do got a lot of room to kind of stretch. We got about 15 to 20 points upwards that we can push back in to this previous two areas of supply here. So as we get pushing here, going to get stopped out of that position, but looking to kind of go ahead and see if we break this short-term supply. If we do break this short-term supply, I'm thinking about getting in long here and then kind of just using a little bit of a stop loss perhaps under this 20 and 10 SMA. Again, always calculated risk. That's going to be somewhere in here below 15.12s, below the 15.115s. I'll look for that little bit of area as support there to kind of use. But again, looking to pop this 5-minute supply long here and retest the 75. So we got maybe 15 to 20 points to the upside that I would be looking to kind of test. Currently position up $150 on the day. You know, this position's up $5-6 on the day. So we're just going to let it kind of ride out and do its thing. Nothing too crazy here. We can kind of see the P&L for the day here, 140. Again, if I can lock in $100 on the day, close to it, definitely be something to be excited about. First day back on a new combine account. Again, currently funded with Topstep here. Why is this not loading again? Currently funded on Topstep with one account already, looking to add more, but looking to kind of just go through the motions on this, right? Kind of go through the motions and kind of show everyone that you don't really need to overextend yourself. You don't need to trade large size with these prop firms. You can kind of get in, you know, use low risk, low stress, low barrier of entry, low prices, and then kind of use them as tools to your advantage. So looking at the market here on a little bit of a bounce, kind of go back to my big boy chart here. I'm actually going to look at the 1 hour time frame on the NQ. So if we look at the 1 hour time frame on the NQ, we had this consolidation period here getting harshly rejected off this 50 SMA on the 1 hour time frame. Once we finally started to break below the previous 2 hours lows, that price of around 15,108, we did push all the way down to our demand. So I want to kind of show you guys, you know, stocks are going to go from supply to supply and demand to demand. So typically when you break an area that has been holding as an area of demand in between a range here, which you can see between the 10 and the linear regression, once we start to break that, typically speaking, we test the next area of demand. So stocks are going to go from demand to demand, supply to supply. So as we come in here now, off this New York lunch hour session, it's currently 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are looking for a confirmation over 15,155 for a potential push into the 70s and 80s. If we can get a potential push into the 70s and 80s, even though this is considered somewhat of a choppy day, okay, somewhat of a choppy day, we can still make money kind of playing in between the lines, kind of painting in between the lines, and then, you know, just realistically trying to play the ranges, right? So when we come down to the bottom of the range, we're looking to bounce. When we come to the top of the range, we're looking to short until we can kind of, you know, call it a day. So just kind of coming back over here, currently at $15, $17, $10 on this position. Not looking for too much here. Currently up around $150 today in the combine account. But again, you know, profits are going to be slow. You know, we're not going to go out there and we're not going to trade the NQ. We're not going to go out there and try to trade 20, 30 contracts. We're just looking for small pops here. You know, if we can make $40, $50 a trade, you know, if we can kind of piece together 2 or 3 trades, make $100, $200 a day, that's very, very good. What I'm kind of trying to teach in Evolution Traders, which is my private community, what I'm trying to teach here is that it's not about how fast you get to the end of the finish line. What it's about is doing things correctly, right? So you want to do things correctly. You want to do things the right way. You want to take your time with these. A lot of these new prop firms and a lot of the old prop firms, they don't really have any trading kind of timelines. You don't have to pass this in a day. You don't have to pass it in a week. You can kind of just, take your time with it. And the whole goal, right? The whole master plan is to get up multiple six figures. Let's just take our profits there. What we want to do is we want to really, grow these accounts nice and slow, and we want to continue to add more assets under management. So what does that mean? What that means is we want to get up, $500,000, $1 million in funding, and we want to try to make 1% on that overall balance, right? So we're not looking to take a $50,000 account and make 100,000. What we're looking to do is get 4, 5, 6 accounts spread out between multiple firms, multiple companies, and we want to try to make 1% on those accounts each and every single month. If we can make 1% on these accounts, and for example, we're funded $1 million, 1% on $1 million is 10,000, right? So $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year is a fantastic salary. Even if you do already have a normal job, a normal 9 to 5, and you're able to add an extra $5,000, $10,000 a month to that bottom line, how significant would that be for you, right? For you, your family, how significant would that be? So how you have to approach the markets and how you have to approach, these prop firms is you really need to approach them with a level of seriousness, right? So just kind of looking at the hourly chart here, kind of seeing if there's a little bit of a trade that we can take here. If we can continue to confirm the previous hour's highs, how much room do we have, right? So what I would be looking at here is the previous hour's highs were broken at around 15,155. We put in that new high. At 15,161. I might consider getting in over 15,161, 162, and then kind of taking 10 to 15 points at this previous hour's high wick here. So we might throw an order out there, see if they want to take some of our stock. If they do want to take some of our stock, then we'll go ahead and get in over the 161, 162 area. So looking to get in over the 62s, or perhaps get out around the 75, 77s. Again, right now we are trading above the 1 hour, 5, 10, and 20-day moving average. So anytime we're trading over supply here, we're really not looking for the shorts. We can kind of leave the shorts alone on that 1 hour time frame. Any pullbacks, consider it just that, a pullback. But you can see here this aggressive bounce we've had the past hour. We can really get over that. We can potentially push into the 70s and 80s, which is going to be our upper Bollinger Band here. And let's go ahead and get an order kind of sitting out here, right? We're going to get an order sitting out here above the 161s, 162s. We're going to start with small size. We're going to go in 2 contracts, very, very small size here, and see if we can kind of push into this previous area of resistance. If we can kind of get into this previous area of resistance here and test that, we're looking at a 10 to 15 point run up here, an extra 25, 35, 40, $50 here on the micro contracts. Again, what I really want to stress is that when you're playing these prop firm accounts, everyone tries to rush the process. Okay, everyone's in a big race to get to the end, right? To pass and to get funded because they want to make $1 million, and that's really not what it's about. You have to look at your overall risk. So for example, this account that we signed up with today, I'm going to be doing some live streams going forward, kind of just documenting this whole process. But what I want to kind of really highlight is that we can practice and we can perfect our trading plan, our system, our entries and our exits, along with making some money, along with getting funded and adding more assets under management, without the stress of trying to really hammer, and try to overstretch ourselves. Because for this particular account, it's a $2,000 drawdown before you get kicked out of the program or you lose your funded account, right? So if you have a $2,000 drawdown, what are the odds that you can trade 2, 3, 4 mini contracts consistently, right? And what I mean by that is if you go in 3, 4 mini contracts and you take a 10, 15, 20 point loss, you can start to rack up those losses very, very quickly and get yourself kicked out of the overall program, the valuation, or lose your funded account. So instead of trying to reach for the $1,000 trade, why not take $100? You know, why not take $200 a day? Why not try to slowly build your account and do it over multiple accounts, right? That's the whole idea and thought process that I've always kind of ran with. You know, I'd rather take 10 $50,000 accounts or 10, you know, $100,000 accounts and try to make 1% of on them each and every single month than try to take one $100,000 account to, you know, 20-30%. Because I'll tell you this, it's a hell of a lot easier, you know, trying to make $500, $1,000 on an account a month than it is to try to make $5,000-$10,000 a month on one particular account. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So right now, currently just watching, we got a buy order sitting out there over the 161s, looking for a push into the 70s or the 80s. Again, my stop loss is just going to be, you know, it's going to be below our entry candle. We're going to just set it a little bit lower, give ourselves a little bit of room for, you know, some slippage or a potential back test here. We've got some supports rising right now. So again, we don't want to get too carried away with trying to go long, go short. Right now, we're just waiting for the short to kind of set up. I mean, waiting for the long to set up, excuse me. Love to know what you guys are trading today. Again, I'm going to be flipping through some charts as we kind of wait for that to get filled. If we get filled, I'll get an alert, so then I can kind of go back to that. But let's take a look at Tesla really quick. Did trade some options today, shorted Tesla. Very, very good short trade on Tesla. If we kind of look at the 5-minute time frame, look at the opening range candle here, the first 5-minute candle. We get that loss through the 274s, right? And below 274s, we had a hard demand zone here sitting at around 272s. So even an aggressive scalper could have taken this for $1, $2 right off the bell into this support here, kind of locked up those positions. Again, you know, how I play these, right? What I would be looking for here, we get a close below the 20 SMA. I know that I've got support sitting down here at 272. So I'm looking for this candle here at 6:35 in the morning to kind of take this short. I'm looking for, because this is a drastic candle, I'm not really going to give it to the top wick, you know, all the way up to 277. I'll give this for my stop loss over the 5, 10, or 20 SMA, depending on how much I feel like risking, right? Especially off the bell, you're going to get more swings up and down. So, you know, you're going to have to give it a little bit more risk. You're trading things like Tesla, trading things like Nvidia, you know, $1, $2 risk is what you're going to have to go. And if you can't afford $1, $2 risk, size down, you know, size down. If you're playing 100 shares, play 50. If you play 5 contracts, play 2. You know, if you play 3 contracts, play 1, and give it that risk. But you can see here, once we start to take out the 274s, we immediately come down to the 272s, get the nice bounce, rejection at the 5 SMA, and then continuation of follow through. So what you would be doing in how your thought process is once you get in here at 635 short, you're taking profits into the linear regression at 272. And let's say, for example, you're trading 4 contracts. What you're going to do is sell 2 immediately. You're going to sell 2 immediately at this demand zone, because anything can happen. We can come down here and then start to reverse. So you want to make sure you lock in those profits and set a break even stop. And then from there, you want to use the 5 SMA. Some people like to use the 9, but use the 9, use the 5, use the 10. It really doesn't matter to me. Use the 5 SMA, kind of trail the price action, and use this as a stop loss. So if we do break back above the 5 SMA, you can just get out of the trade. You've already locked in 50% of those wins, and then you can kind of continue about your day and look for the next setup. If we continue to stay under the 5 SMA and we're continuing to stay under your entry here, you can see the demand at the 272s. If we start to break down 272s, we had nothing but open airspace. So below 272s, we dropped all the way to a price of 267. It's a fantastic trade. I mean, you can't make this shit up. You can't draw this up any better, right? You're protecting your risk. You have clear areas of entry. You have a clear area to take profit, and then you hold runners, and you hold those runners to break even, or you squeeze another $1, $2 off the stock. Again, you know, that's all you're really looking for. That's all you're really looking for. Love to know what some of you guys traded today, what you guys are looking at. I'm gonna go back to the futures here and see what we're doing. Kind of pulling back a little bit. Still got that buy order sitting here at around 15,161. Looking for the pop over 15,161, potentially to kind of come into the 15,174s. Looking for the 7.4s. That would give us about 10 to 15 points here on the NQ. Again, Bollinger Bands are starting to contract a little bit. You can see the top Bollinger Band starting to curl down. You can see the bottom Bollinger Band starting to curl up. So as these Bollinger Bands start to contract, right? As they start to contract, normally a bigger move is coming. And what that means is it could be a break to the upside. You know, our intraday kind of upper supply zone would be, 200s, 15,200s. And our lower potential is going to be around the 1500s, which is the low of day here. So kind of just looking here for a potential pop. And if we can get that quick cash move into the 70s, right? So if we get the quick cash move into the 70s, we can evaluate from there. We start to get over the Bollinger Band, and then that's when things can really get aggressive and they can really start to stretch. Currently sitting on support here at the 5-day moving average, 5-minute time frame, trading above the 50. And then we've got some more supports here, the 200, the 10, and the 20s down here. So still looking good for a push to the long side. No potential short for me. We would have to really start to lose, 15,121s, 15,120s for me to want to have some interest in going short here. And then after that, it's just a waiting game. So the more we wait, right, the more we wait, the better the setups come. When we start trying to force trades, looking at this market and telling ourselves, well, the last hour we've been bouncing, potentially I should just get in here. Well, what happens if we continue to pull back, right? What happens if we continue to pull back? Now, if we break the high wick here and we put in, maybe 5 points in reverse, there's nothing we can do about that. All we can do is where we're controlling getting out of the stock and getting in the stock or index or future options, whatever. What you can't control is what the stock or whatever the price action does after you're in it, right? So we can't control where it's going. We have an idea as to where potentially we could be heading and where potentially we're going to stop out at, potentially where we want to take profits. But we have no idea where and what the stock is doing once we're already inside. And that's a big problem that a lot of traders have, is they try to find the perfect strategy or get with the perfect mentor that's going to give you, 90% hit rate. Guys, if you have a strategy that hits at 90%, you would be a multi-millionaire, doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling your account day over day, month over month, quarter over quarter. Any firm on Wall Street, you could take your track record and they would eat it up. Myself, I'm only a 55% winning trader, 55%. So what does that mean? I'm looking to break even 50% of the time, okay? And when I break even, I'm looking for those losses to be a lot smaller than my wins. And how I do that is by having an edge. And how I do that is by just trusting that this is a probabilities-based business, meaning we're going to win, we're going to lose. I understand that. I'm expecting to lose each and every single trade that I take. And when I don't lose and I'm able to take profits, I consider that just me being on the winning side of this particular probability. I understand that there's going to be times where I'm going to be on the left side, which is the losing side of the probability. So I need to make sure that when I am on those losing sides, when I am on those losing trades, that I am not letting emotions get to me, that I'm not breaking my rules, that I'm not letting this thing, kind of trickle away from me and holding it because I thought that it looked good. No. We're going to get another trade. We're going to get another opportunity. There's always another opportunity. Don't look at it like that. Look at it over a body of 20 trades, 40 trades, 100 trades. What are we doing over the next 20 trades? What are we doing over the next 100 trades? We can see here having some trouble trying to break this high price. If I go back, look at my big boy chart here, nice little bounce consolidation. We could be looking to break out here. We've got a ton of short-term support here. I would be looking for a little bit more consolidation and then a nice power move through. If we can get a nice power move through the 70s, that might be a hell of a trade there. Again, you know, make sure your risk is make sure you guys are risking what you're willing to lose. Okay. So if you're trading futures, please, you know, don't go out there and try to trade 10 mini contracts, you know, on this particular break. This is not an A+ setup. This is just a setup, right? And that's the thing. Not every setup is an A+ setup. What makes a setup worth taking is understanding your calculated risk, okay? Understand your calculated risk. And then just throw those darts. That's what it's about. Throw those darts, you know, keep taking those trades, keep perfecting your craft, and you will get better. You will get better. But again, you know, just to kind of recap to some of the people who joined, I'm currently funded with a few different prop firms. You know, full disclosure, those prop firms: Surge Trader, which I use to trade equities, so stocks, and then Apex, I trade futures, and Topstep, I trade futures. So I'm currently funded with those 3 companies. You know, current assets under management close to around 200,000. Okay, so on that 200,000, I'm only looking to make 1 to 2%. That's it. I trade options full time. That's where the majority of my money comes from. I use these as kind of, you know, a little bit of a savings account. I use these as a little bit of a you know, pay my bills, you know, pay an extra bill, or throw some extra money towards the car note, take a vacation, you know, go do something on the weekends. But the whole goal here is to get up to 500,000, $1 million in funding and make 1%, right? That's how I'm looking at it. I look at myself as a individual hedge fund manager. I look at myself as an individual investment manager. I look at myself as an individual, you know, asset manager, whatever you want to call it, right? Whatever you want to call it. And anytime I get funded with additional funding, I look at it as I just signed a new client. What does that mean, right? So let's say, for example, you know, you work for an investment firm, you know, you've got people on the floor, you've got, you know, people looking for new investors, right? Because we want we want more money under management. We want to allocate more money so we can all make a bigger commission split, right? That's what it is at the end of the day. So anytime that I get funded with a new firm, I look at that as I just signed a new client. What can I do with that client's money? Right? And my goal is to get up to $1 million in funding, along with my personal account that I have. So right now, the personal account that I have to trade options with Thinkorswim is close to 6 figures. And that's, again, where the majority of my money comes from, is trading options. But again, there's no harm, no foul in adding additional sources of income. So for me, I'm going to use these prop firms the way that they use retail traders, right? So we all know, okay, there's no secret, okay? Every single prop firm on the market, and there's a new one popping up every single day, they are built on taking subscription fees, membership fees, evaluation fees, combine fees, and they are banking and betting on the retail trader failing, okay? So what you need to do is beat them at their own game. Understand that. That's just the way of the world. That's just business. It's good, smart business for them. There's no knock on it. But you, as a retail trader, need to also understand that it's not a race. It's not, you know, you guys are not trying to make $10,000, $20,000 your first month. Work on one account. Work on your process. Work on your emotional discipline. Get funded, get a few payouts, take some of that money, sign up, get an additional account, and then get a third and get a fourth and get a fifth. Sooner than later, you'll have 3, 4, 5, 10 accounts. You'll have multiple 6 figures under management. And then you don't really have to stress trying to make $5,000, $10,000 on one particular account. That's very, very hard to do. It puts a lot of pressure on you as a trader to do that. Currently still looking for a break through the 60s. I still got that order sitting out there for a long over the 60s, looking for a 10 to 15 point move on this. You know, again, We are trading micros on this live stream. Why we're trading micros is because I'm trying to show people that you don't need to go trade big size to pass these account challenges. How long is it going to take me to pass, this particular $50,000 account? We'll see. Yeah, so here's the overall goal. So right now currently I've got one account with Topstep funded, and I've got two with Apex that are funded. I'm working on a third with Apex, and I've got one with Surge Trader. So here's the overall kind of idea as what I want to do. When I get to like 5 accounts with Apex and the max allocation with Topstep is 3, I will copy trade. For example, we're talking about Topstep right now. I will copy trade 2 of the counts with Topstep. Again, trade very, very small, trade very, very small risk, because my goal is to stay in the game, right? And that's what I teach the traders that trade with me at Evolution Traders. Our goal is to stay in the game and continue to make money over time, right? And how we make more money is by growing our accounts larger, whether that's a personal account or prop firm accounts. So we want more money under management. We want to take the same trades. We're not looking to make 50 points on the NQ, 100 points on the NQ each and every single day. Let's make 10, 15, 20 points, but let's do that over 3 or 4 accounts. So yes, I will get up to 3 accounts with Topstep. I will copy trade 2 of them. I'm looking to take $80 to $200 a day on those particular accounts. Times 2 could be $200 to $400 in profit, and then the remaining account, for example, when I have 3 with Topstep, will be to trade that one with a little bit different strategies and a little bit different risk management. So that way, because I'm not perfect, I'm not a human. Let's say something happens in the market and you blow up one account that is being copy traded between 5-10 accounts and you lose everything. That's never what you want to do. You never want to risk yourself to where you're losing everything. Same thing with Apex. Apex allows you to have 20, right? They allow you to have 20 accounts. I don't have no intentions of getting 20 with Apex. I'd like to get up to like 5 or 10 and then copy trade half of them, and then the other ones just kind of use them as free rolls. So what that means is, let's say, in the first hour to 2 hours of the market, I take 1 or 2 trades that are being copy traded between a couple of different accounts. What I will then do is, if those are profitable, I'll go ahead and leave those to the side, and then the next setup that I find, I will take on one of those individual accounts that is not being copy traded and just kind of add to that overall day's P&L, with a sole goal of trying to make 1% on the entire portfolio. I don't care if it comes from 3 accounts out of 10. I don't care if it comes from 8 accounts out of the 10 that I'm holding. Doesn't matter. The goal is to make 1 to 2% a month on the overall allocation of those funds. So if you've got $1 million in funding, I'm just throwing out generic numbers. You got $1 million in funding. If you can make 1%, between all of them, you're doing very, very well for yourself. You're doing very, very well for yourself, especially as a retail trader. Social media, Twitter, YouTube is very, very harsh for the newer trader, or even people who have been trading for a while and haven't really caught their stride yet, because it looks like everyone's making $5, $10, $20, $50,000 a month, and it's just not the case. There are traders out there that are very good that are doing that, but to be consistent, to make $50,000 a month, and you got like a 6-figure or like $100,000 account, odds on that are like not realistic, right? I mean, if you just think about it like this, whether you have $100,000 in your personal brokerage, or you're funded, right? You're funded $100,000, and you make $300,000-$400,000 on that one particular account. That means that you're 3xing, 4xing $100,000 each and every single year. Your best trader on Wall Street's not even doing that, right? Your best trader on Wall Street's not doing that. Not taking $100,000 and making $500,000 year over year. That's, come on, it doesn't really make sense. So but put $1 million, right? Put $1 million into your account and try to make 100,000. It becomes a lot easier because the risk is spread. The stress levels are not there. You're not pressed on time. You don't got to force this one account. So Options, no options yet on any prop firms, at least not that I've come across. Stocks is the only one. Um, yeah, so one of the prop firms that I'm with, Surge Trader, you can actually trade, Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, everything pretty much in the Nasdaq 100. But as far as options, no, the risk is way too high, especially because most prop firms you're trading demo, right? So you're trading demo accounts, and the way that the options premium is going to move around and stuff, it'd be very very hard for them to kind of replicate that on a demo or a sim account for options. Now, I'm an options trader by trade. Um, Looking for the break of the 60s here on the NQ. I'm an options trader, by day. That's my bread and butter. So majority of the time, the first 1 to 2 hours of the market, I'm trading options, and then after that, in the New York lunch hour session, I'm looking to go trade futures. So this is just like my supplemental income here, trading these futures accounts if I have a good day trading options. So today was a really good day trading options. Shorted Tesla, and that was a hell of a trade. Hell of a trade on that. I was waiting for that level all weekend, right? Because I did my homework on it. I seen, that here we go on making a push on futures. I seen that level on Friday, on the day's lows, and there was a hell of a lot of potential there. So me and some of the guys in the Discord went ahead and took that trade on Tesla. Yeah, but futures the same way. So I mean, options is the same thing as futures. It's all just calculated risk. If you're more comfortable trading options, that's great. If you're someone who doesn't really have a large account size and you don't feel comfortable trading options because maybe you don't have enough money to kind of trade options, I would say prop firms and futures is probably the way to go. But again, I would say, use the prop firms to make money, to load into your personal account, to trade futures, to trade stocks, whatever it is that you want to do. But yeah, let's actually take a look at some stocks here and kind of see, what some of these stocks are doing. We're going to take a look at Tesla first. Tesla kind of hanging out at this floor, and I actually want to look at the 1 hour time frame on Tesla. So look at what happened to Tesla off the open. I mean, immediately got destroyed, right? Put in a low at this 267, right? And then we had a little bit of a bounce that got rejected at this 5 SMA here, and then came all the way down to 265. I mean, this is a hell of a move. I mean, hell of a move. And you can see where we bounced, right? So this is an aggressive bounce here off of these hour supports, right? So this here that we bounced off of, the 200 EMA, the 150 SMA, and we've got the 200 SMA here. So an aggressive bounce here. If Tesla can start to get over 269, 270, it's got some room to kind of come back, $1, $2. So an aggressive scalper might, try to bounce this, use this hour's low as your stop loss and get into that. You can tighten up that risk by looking at the 5-minute time frame. So for me here, you can see just a big downtrend on Tesla all day. Support bounce here off the hour time frames. What I would be looking for would be a break over like 269.5, 270 on Tesla, and then you got room to like 270, 150. So you got maybe $1.50 room, right? Is it worth it? It's all up to you. It's all up to you. Everyone's risk tolerance is different. Everyone's risk tolerance is different. So we're going to look at MU, some of the guys in Discord looking at MU. Looking at MU, hell of a fucking move. Hell of a fucking move. Runaway train here on MU. So I want to break down MU very, very quickly. Look at off the bell here. We're looking at a 5-minute time frame. This first opening 5-minute candle gets over all the supply. Okay. If this is your first time on my channel, watching a live stream, watching a video, you may think that I got a bunch of lines on my chart. That's right. I got a bunch of lines on my chart. It helps me understand where these potential stocks can go, where they can stop. So look at the opening candle here, 5 minutes. We're looking at the 6120. Right over 6120 has room to push into where? Next area of supply. Next area of supply here is a linear regression at 6182. So we're looking at 6120, 6180s. We're looking at 60 cents there. Then we kind of consolidate here. boom, lose this 20 period moving average, have the Bollinger Band here sitting. I would not try to short this loss below the 20 SMA just due to the fact that we're on an uptrend. So if we're on an uptrend, we're not really trying to go reverse trend. We're looking for the next setup long. Next setup long came at 61.89 and currently trading at 62.80. Dollar move. Should be selling, taking profits now. Hell of a move on MU. Glad that those guys alerted. I hope they took it, right? They were talking about it earlier this morning. I hope they took it. I'm gonna actually shoot a text here. Don't mind me. Gonna shoot a text to my guys here and see. We're gonna see if they took it. Hell of a move on MU. Hell of a move. You know, you got to think about it. This is a $60 stock, right? So a $60 stock, and you could have taken $1 on this move. You got to take it. 9 times out of 10, you got to take it. Nice little pop into the upper Bollinger Band here. So again, what was I looking for, guys? Looking for the break over the 60s, right? We get the break in the 60s, looking for the 70s to test. So we came all the way into the 70s to test. And if I wasn't farting around looking at other stocks, I could have sold my position, but I didn't. So currently up only $17 on 2 options contract, $20 when I could have been up 40, right? That's the way it goes. We're just going to sell there because I don't want to mess around with the back test. So currently up $163 in the combine account here with Topstep. I wish and that's another note here too, is when you're trading a particular asset, make sure you guys stay watching that asset. So if you're looking at NQ and you're looking at the ES, make sure they're on your charts. You're looking, especially if you're in the trade, or set a hard take profit. What I should have done, right? Because what I should have done is I had the stop loss put in. I should have had the take profit up because the move I was looking for came and then pulled back. So yeah, still took a little bit of coin off of that, right? I still took, 8 points off of the NQ, but I missed out, right? I missed out on a potential 20 points. So when I took 8, I could have made 20. It is what it is. Market pulling back a little bit as we hit that Bollinger Band. MU looks good for tomorrow. I will say that MU looks good for tomorrow. Coming into supply here on the daily, I'd like to see it get over 63s. Over 63s has got room into 65. But again, on the daily chart, big pullback here. First engulfing candle that's taken out the last 2 days, getting back over that 5-day moving average. Very healthy for the stock. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA kind of consolidating here at the 20 SMA. So again, NVIDIA is going to have a huge short position below 416. Below 416, I'll be all over that into the 400s. And still our consolidation breakout is going to be over 432. So kind of a wide range here. A really wide range, right? I mean, you might have a little room over 427 into 430s, but we've got such a huge range on NVIDIA just due to the fact that this thing has, been an absolute monster machine here. So if we look at the 1 hour time frame here, again, coming down into these supports, getting a nice bounce. What I would like to see is NVIDIA get back over 423. 423 on NVIDIA has room to 425. 423 has room to 425. 423 has room, 425 on NVIDIA. Okay. Again, that would just be considered a day trade. So that's not going to be something that, we're selling the wife and the kids on. We're definitely not, you're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater on this potential play. This is just a intraday setup. Okay. So how am I coming to this determination, right? What am I looking for here? So I'm looking at hour candles. I'm looking at a big drop. I'm looking at a low here, a bounce that's rejected, a retest of the low, break of the low. Bulls have stepped in now. What I'm looking to do is actually aggressive scalpers can get in over 421.50s and then use like 419.50s as a stop. That's a $2 risk, but again, we're trading a big boy stock here. This is a $400 stock. So again, we've got room into the 50-day moving average at 422, but again, over 423 is what I like. Over 423 has room to push into the 20 SMA on a 1 hour time frame. Might be a potential trade there. No, you're good. I'm pretty much done trading already today. I'm kind of just I'm messing around with this prop firm account. That's about it. I also want to point out this too here for some of the futures traders. If we look at the 1 hour candlesticks here, I want everyone to identify this level down here. Okay, now this indicator, whatever, right, in whatever the hell it is, it's called a linear regression channel 50. I've used it for years, right? It just gives me channel levels, and I've used it for years, and stocks tend to react at these levels on any time frame. It doesn't matter if you're looking at the 5-minute time frame. It doesn't matter if you're looking at the daily, the hourly. Doesn't matter. They react. So as we came into this, we started to react off this area here on the NQ. Look at the last hour close, the 9 a.m. candle, the lunch hour candle. Look at the 9 a.m. candle close. Look at the high, right? So if we're looking to take a day trade, we're looking to take a scalp off the NQ, we would be looking at 15,150s, 15,160s, the level I was looking at. You want to get in on that breakout over previous hours highs, and you want to be selling into, okay, sell into that resistance. Doesn't have to get here. Doesn't have to get there. We want to sell into that. Was up $180. Price came back against me. Instead of selling for a small loss, price came against me to my full stop loss. I always freeze in trades. Yeah, so don't. So were you in the NASDAQ trade? Were you in the NASDAQ trade? I'm assuming you were in the NASDAQ trade, right? Yeah, NQ. So how much did you take on a loss on that? Just curious. So, and what was your position sizing, right? What was your position sizing? So how many contracts did you have, and were you trading minis or micros? $161. So again, 161 is not going to tear you up. You get it back in 1 or 2 trades, especially, you know, with micros. So no harm, no foul there. But this is how you have to approach it, right? So the level I was looking at here, I had that buy order sitting at, you know, the 160s, right? So the breakout here, we got the breakout, right? We got the breakout, had a little bit of a pullback, but we're over all supports, so no reason to get kind of shaken out. And then we had the pop, boom. So we had the pop all the way to the Bollinger Band. So again, when I was flipping charts, I didn't see that we actually came so close to that Bollinger Band. By the time I got back, we're already pulling back, so I just decided to sell it. But you have to look at it like this. So from an entry point, you know, obviously there's going to be slippage involved. We're not going to get in right at the price. If you do get filled right at the price, congratulations. But 15161, that's our entry price, right? So 15161. In 5 minutes on that breakout candle, it goes to 166. So 5 points we made. Okay, so we made 5 points, and then the next candle pulls back a little bit and then pulls all the way up to 181, right? So we go up to 180s. So from a price of 6.1 to 8.1, that's 20 points. 20 points. If we're looking to scalp, we got to be taking 10, 15, 20 points up. We have to be. We just have to be, right? Because typically this is what happens. Typically, you know, we break an area of consolidation, we punch up or we punch down, depending on if we're long or short, and then we ride into that area of resistance, which is here. You can see it here. Look at the last run up we had, right? So look at the last run up, look at the Bollinger Band. We typically run into those areas and then we pull back, right? So this is a classic break, retest. And again, this can completely go again, right? It can go again, take out the highs, and this could be trading at 214 at the end of the day, 15 twos, right? But when we're playing small size, you know, we have that luxury of, let's just take half size off at 10 to 15 points every time. Every time we get 10, 15 points on the NASDAQ, let's take half off. So if we're trading 4 contracts, let's take off 2. Let's move those last 2 to a break even stop. And then there's no harm, no foul, right? No harm, no foul. There's always another setup, always another setup. It's just getting over that freezing, that like when you get into a trade and you freeze, because a lot of traders do that. I work with a lot of traders at Evolution Traders. A lot of traders do that. They either freeze to get in because they don't trust themselves, or they freeze to take profits, or freeze to cut the loss because they don't know, right? And they're expecting it to go up. It's like, oh, well, we broke this level. Maybe we continue higher. Maybe we do, maybe we don't, right? All we can do is protect. All we can do is protect. Waiting for price to go up more. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. We're always waiting for the price to go up more. And I'm victim of it too. I'm always waiting too, right? So it's not just you, it's not just me, it's the next person, the next person. You get better with it over time, right? Over time, you get better with it. So it's like now for me, I mean, I've been doing this now, you know, full time for 6 years, but you know, for 8.5 years now. Over time, it gets a lot easier because you get in, you see it run up 10, 15, 20 points quickly. You just, it's like second nature. You just sell out. You collect half and you put the rest at break even, right? And that is what it is. Yeah, just don't hesitate. Just, especially in the beginning, just get comfortable with taking 10, 15 points, right? So even if we're trading micros, 10, 15 points, not going to be that much. Maybe it's 40, 50, $60, but just get in the habit of just boom, boom, boom. Take it, take it, take it, take it, right? Just take it, stack small days, right? I mean, I've taken a handful of little baby trades today, trading like 2-3 micros at a time. And I mean, you know, they add up, right? I'm up $163 on the day. Let's see. So the gross P&L is 190. Number of trades today is 8. Number of contracts is 30. Total profit 367. Total loss 177, right? So 6 winning trades, 2 losers, breaking even or trading at a 75% hit rate today. Largest losing trade was 127. For those of you guys who came into the stream late, disaster first 1-2 trades today, trading this Topstep account with Tradervate. And it's not Topstep's fault, it's Tradervate, the platform. But I was in on a long position on 4 contracts, made $75, sold 2, was holding 2 to break even. When those 2 contracts broke even, for whatever reason, right? Market gods, whatever, decided to freeze the platform, and I'm slamming the sell button. I'm slamming it. I'm trying to get out of all positions. I'm slamming it. I'm closing it up, trying to log in, and now it's not logging in. Finally, 20-30 minutes later, it comes back, right? And by the time it comes back, I'm down $100 on that original 2 contracts. Lets me sell it. I find a new setup, bounce it, right? There was a setup to go long. I ended up taking the bounce play, ended up making $190 on the 1 trade, made back that loss, but it was a disaster. Like realistically, I should have been up 75 and then taken the bounce play at 190. I should be up close to like 250, 300. But I mean, it was an absolute shit show. And I don't know why it does that. It's done that to me before. Tradervate. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We just continue to move along. So here's the back test, right? Here's the back test, right? So we had the initial pop, the harsh sell-off, back to the 5, back to the 10, lost it, no follow through. So when we get no follow through to the next level of demand and we get green candles taking out red, this is considered your break, retest, and let's see if we can continue to take out these highs. If we can't continue to take out the highs over the 80s and we do start to close below the 10-day moving average here that I have, I would be looking for a stop here in the 40s and a stop here in the 30s. Anything below 30s, I'm looking to take a short position on. we start closing below 30s, and we confirm that, I will look to take a short position. But as of right now, we're just looking for continuation to the upside. Back to the middle of the range, basically. Back to the middle of the range. And that goes for anyone else out there. For anyone else out there, just take profits when you got them. Don't hesitate. Do not hesitate. I tell my guys this. I tell my guys this all the time. The market, right? And some of you guys may have heard this before, if you listen to me. The market's been here way before me, right? It's been here for a long time before I was born. And this market's going to continue to be here long after I am gone, right? So what's the harm in taking the profits now? What does that mean? Take the profits now. Don't hesitate. Don't freeze. Take your profits. Do that 2 or 3 times a day. Take small profits. It doesn't matter. The market's going to be here tomorrow. You think that we're not going to get another setup tomorrow? You think we're not going to get another setup on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday? There's always another setup. The NASDAQ provides at least, okay, and I'll show right now in real time how many setups that we've gotten today. The NASDAQ has at least 3 setups a day, if not more, right? Let's just go to the market open. 6:40 in the morning, we get our first setup here based on my strategy. My strategy has the first setup here, 6:40 in the morning. Entry price would have been 153s, right? So 15,153. We go from 15,153 all the way down to 15,086. So we're looking at a 70-point move. First play of the day. Here's a second setup. Second setup, entries around the 15,170s. Get the confirmation. We go from 70s all the way up to 207. So we're another 30 points. 40 points here, 30 points here. A little bit of a choppiness action here. Let's scratch this trade. So for example, this area here, there was 2 setups, one here, one here. Let's scratch those, because this is very hard to capitalize on this move. It's very hard to capitalize on that move. So I'll give it to the market here. So us 2, market 1, right? 0.5. Let's give the market 2 for the hell of it, for the sake of the video. Market 2. But we scratched out here for 10 to 15 points. We scratched out here for 10 to 15 points. So we're still up. Whoops. We're still up on the overall day. Now let's look at the next setup. Boom. Look at that move, right? So look at that move. So we get a setup here below 134 all the way down to 063. So we're talking about from 15,135 all the way down to 15,063. Come on, come on. We can't make money on this, guys. There's no money to be made on there. We're giving ourselves a 1-bar stop on all this shit, right? 1-bar stop on all this crap, right? If this is our setup here, 1-bar stop or close, stop out over the 20. Boom. Whew. Next stop, underneath our reason why candle, we're giving ourselves a 1-bar stop or close below the 20-period moving average. Look at that, right? Look at this one, 1-bar stop or close over the 20-period moving average. More money, more money. Look at the last one, right? The last, and this was the last one that actually confirmed over the 20 from 15,135 all the way up to 15,182, 50 points. Look at the setup that I took, right? Now, again, this is a different type of setup, but look at the setup over the 61s. From 61s into the 80s, come on, come on. If we're looking to take 15, 20 points each move, winner, winner, or excuse me, winner, winner. Maybe this one too, actually. I gave the market a little bit of a, if we give ourselves a 1-bar stop, can anyone who's looking at the NASDAQ futures right now, do me a favor. If we got in at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, so 10:30 a.m., right? If we're looking at that candle, the next candle confirms at 7:35, right? 10:35 a.m. Eastern Time. If we got in on that, could we have taken 20 points without getting stopped out? I'd love for someone to double check that. So look at the 10:30 a.m. candle and look at the 10:35 a.m. candle. If we got in at 10:35 a.m., could we have taken 20 points without being scared and gotten stopped out? I just want someone to answer that for me. Because I'm giving the market two, right? I said that we crushed this trade, we crushed that trade, and I gave the market these two trades. Could we have made money on that? 20 points, 15 points. I think we could have, to be honest, in 5 minutes. I think we could have. We could have definitely. We could have definitely made money on this trade too. I'll tell you that much right now. And this is the thing. So many people are concerned about, oh, well, where's the stop loss? I don't want to risk too much. I'm looking personally at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setups where we could have taken 15 to 20 points a setup. Probably been 4 for 4, 5 for 5, to be honest. 15, 20 points. I think that's a hell of a trade, to be honest. Let me know if I'm wrong. Is 15 or 20 points on the NQ not enough? Like per trade, right? Per trade. If we build this into our trading plan, if we build in taking profits at 15 or 20 points, giving ourselves a 1 bar stop. Because shit, if that's the case, 15 points here, 15 points, 15 points there, 15 points there, 15 points there. How many is that? 60 points we take off the NAS, 15 points here, 75 points we took off the NAS. We're 4 for 4. Shit, get out of here. And if Trader Vape didn't freeze on me, I would have had NQ's ass for 3 for 3 on the day, or 4 for 4 on the day. Would have never even lost that last one. Would not even lost. Tell you that much right now. But but again, that shit's not easy, and I'm gonna tell you that. Why is it not easy? Because people get in short and they're thinking we're going down more. Oh, we're going down more. Get trapped. Oh, let's go long. Going long. Red candle. Oh shit. So I could easily see how someone who's not as experienced lost this trade and lost this trade, because you're waiting. What are you waiting for? Take your money. What are you waiting for? 15, 20 points. 15, 20 points, 1 bar stop, or close over under the 20. Keep it at that. Do that shit 100 times. Come back. Tell me if you didn't make money. Don't make this shit complicated. I'm going to talk a little bit to the guys in my Discord real quick. I'm not going anywhere. I didn't freeze. My mic's not off. But there's a few questions going on in Discord. Tell me that. 15, 20 points, I think that's a hell of a good move. That's healthy, I think. In my opinion, and again, this is my opinion. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't work on Wall Street. I don't work for a hedge fund. I work for my own hedge fund. I am the hedge fund. I am my own hedge fund. But my trading plan, my strategy, 15, 20 points on the NASDAQ, 1 bar stop, or change in trend. If I'm going long and I'm giving myself a 1 bar stop, if we close below the 20 SMA, that's a change in trend. I'll get the hell out. If I'm going short and I give myself a 1 bar stop or a close over the 20 SMA, that's a change in trend. I'll get the hell out. Following my rules that I set forth myself, this way that I trade, and I trade options the same way. I trade options the same way. This is futures. I'm talking futures right now because, I just started this new combine to get more additional funding with Topstep, and I want to do it on a small scale, the safe way, the proper way, none of this bullshit where, we're trading 20 contracts at a time. But I trade options the same way. It's no different. It's no different. Let's look at some stocks. Apple, nice little recovery bounce here, double bottom at the 187 level, coming into a level of supply here. Apple really needs to break 188.50s to have room to run to 188.70s. Actually, Apple still looks like shit. Apple's still trapped. This is a bear flag coming down. Apple can run into 188.80s before coming back down. Apple still looks like shit. Let's look at Nvidia very, very quickly. Nvidia coming back down, getting rejected here. And again, another little bear flag. A lot of things, you know, came down, they bounced sideways, getting rejected again. A lot of these things. Tesla had the aggressive downslide move, and then we had the aggressive bounce. From 265s back up to 270s, that's a hell of a bounce. That's a hell of a bounce. Now getting rejected at its 5. So you can see this. You see this declining line here, guys? Look at our support zone, right? Look at our support zone, okay? You see this? You see how we came down into our support zone? We got bought back up. You see the little green candle hammer here? If this takes this out, this previous high, we have room to 271, but we're getting rejected right now. So if we start coming back down, look for a retest back into the 260s, low 260s. But the bounce play was there. The bounce play was there. We came into this zone. What we could have done is use this as a stop, or use this as a stop, or this as a stop, and said, hell, I'm going to bounce this. Boom. Calculated risk, guys. How do we know it's not going lower? We don't. So what are we doing to protect ourselves? Putting a stop loss here or here. Bounce it back up. It's not hard. Trust yourselves. Trust yourselves. Trust yourself. How are we looking on the NQ? I need one more trade. Looking for one more setup today. We're stuck in a range though. That's the problem. Not a lot here. Nasdaq's not giving us a lot. Nasdaq's not giving us a lot, guys. Again, you know, if you kind of look at this market, high of day, lower high, lower high, lower high. What do you think, right? I mean, if you just use your eyes, first low, low, new low, maybe, right? Again, we don't have to draw up a bunch of crazy shit on our charts. Use your eyes, trust yourselves. Start analyzing this kind of stuff in real time, guys. Analyze it in real time. You don't need the perfect entry. You don't need the perfect setup. Every setup is going to win. Every strategy will win. Every strategy will lose. Manage yourselves accordingly. No rush. Wait for your setup. Let's take a look at the 2-minute time frame. Anything setting up? Nothing. And that's the name of the game, guys. Big bounce, consolidation. If we start to break down 137s, on the NAS, we might have a short opportunity, guys. What does that line up with the 5-minute? 135. Yeah, so below 135. Let's see if we can catch this one. So again, all I'm doing here, I'm analyzing the drop, I'm analyzing the bounce. We never take out the previous high from the bounce. Here we start to come down. If we start to lose the 20 SMA and we start to confirm below 15,135, maybe we have potential to come down to the Bollinger Band, maybe, right? We'll go small size on this. We'll go small size on this. We'll see if this wants to hard bounce here off of this 200, right? Off this 200 at the 35s. Let's see if the 35s wants to bounce, right? If the 35s wants to bounce and then it closes back over the 20 SMA, we might have a play long to the Bollinger Band into 75s again. But if we start to close below the 200 and we get this close below the 20 and we start to confirm on the next 5-minute candle, we might have some downside room. So I'll be looking to take a trade on either side here. I'm just going to wait for it to set up. And again, what do we talk about? 10, 15, 20 points, guys. 10, 15, 20 points. That's it. That's all we need. So we're still getting hung up here at the 200 consolidation here. We could break to the upside here, looking for, we'd have to break the 5.5s again. So what I would be looking at here is a little bit of a break there. Boom, boom, boom is what I would be looking for. Or boom, boom. That's what I'd be looking for. Those two moves. Does it matter which move? It does not. I don't care. Any one of them. Any one move. Doesn't matter. Give me one more move. 15, 20 points. That's it. We got 45 seconds before this 5-minute candle closes. Let's see what we want to do here. Are we going to close and hold below this 20 SMA? Might present a little bit of a short opportunity. Or are we going to bounce here off the 3.5s? We'll probably play 4 micros on the next trade. Won't risk too much. 1 bar stop. One bar stop. Bounce. Come to the 200. Bounce. A lot of 5-minute supply here. If we can't bust through this and we start to crack down, looking to take the short. Probably will be the last trade of the day for me, whether it works out or it doesn't. Time to go for a little workout, a little jog. That's another thing too, guys. Make sure you guys are healthy, okay? Cliche as that sounds, stupid as that sounds, make sure you guys are eating right. Make sure you guys are getting enough sleep. Make sure you guys are exercising daily. If you don't have a clear mind, if you don't have a healthy mind, how do you expect to really, to really trade these markets? How do you expect to stay disciplined? How do you expect to get out? How do you expect to take profits? We're going to go ahead and take that short position there. I'm going to go ahead and set a stop here at the highs. Again, 1 bar stop, right? 1 bar stop. I'll be right back. Going to use the restroom really quick, grab myself something to drink, and then we'll see how this trade kind of plays out. You guys monitor it for me. Okay, monitor that trade for me. I'm already down 14 bucks, right? I already lost a cup of coffee on this thing. Now I'm losing lunch. You guys better not let me lose lunch. You guys are letting me lose lunch. How we looking? How we looking? How we looking? I got guys in the Evolution Traders Discord already drinking on the day. What is this? CBD infused. What is that? Oh boy, Andre, take the edge off. Oh boy. Probably going to get stopped out here on this trade. Got resistance in the 50s here. If we start pumping over the 50s here, this has got room to run all the way back up to the 70s. Keep that in mind. Looking for a rejection here. We need to stay under 52s. If we can stay under 52s and push down, maybe potentially we come down to the Bollinger Band here. But we've got to stay below the 50s. If this starts pumping up here above the 50s, this does have room to run into back into the high 68s or 70s. So that's one thing that we're going to really monitor here. Again, only giving myself a 1 bar stop on this. Not going to risk it too much. Only thing about this trade that I'm in is the 200 is a pretty big level, right? Regardless if it's the 5 minute or the 1 hour or the daily or the 2 minute, the 200 is a strong level of support. So look at the initial bounce. Look at the first kind of break over this 200. We back tested it once, we put in a high, we've back tested it again. If we hold this 200 for the second time and we start to break over the 50s, this is going to have room to run straight into 70s and very, very quickly. Okay. What you need to see have happen here is to break down below the 200. Look at the Bollinger Band starting to contract. So we're going to get a big move here. I need to catch it. So look at how the Bollinger Bands are starting to contract, right? The smaller that they get, you're going to get that breakdown or you're going to get that breakout. Okay, so we want to be on the right side of it. Again, with this trade here, if we don't start cracking below the previous 5 minute candles low, this is probably going to explode and stop me out very, very quickly. And we just have to manage it, right? We just got to manage it. So now we're back over the 20 period moving average. We've got 4 minutes before this candle comes to a close here. This is going to definitely stop me out. Watch. Got to stay under the 52s. Stays under the 52s, we're still in the ball game. If it breaks over the 52s, we are we're hosed. Which I can see it doing here, and it really exploding back into the 60s and 70s. We got 3 minutes on this candle before we close. There's the break over the 50s first time. Bollinger Band's getting tight here. There's that break. Got 2 minutes left of this candle to close. This candle closes above this supply here, starts turning this into demand, and then you know, you can see us start to push up for some continuation here to the upside. Smarter play on this would have been to probably use the low as a stop and then to try to bounce it off the 200 and then got out of this trade here at the 125s. But let's kind of see exactly what we're doing here. again, no harm, no foul, right? When you play, you know, with manageable size, manageable risk, these trades are not going to kill you. They're not going to kill you. There's no reason to get upset. There's no reason to start freaking out. It is what it is. There's another trade, right? We get into another trade. Simple. There's that break, and I just got stopped out on that one. I've got to stop at the 5/9s right above this previous candle wick. So giving myself a 1 bar stop. Looks like it's going to stop me out very, very closely here. And there's the stop loss here, and this is going to run to the 70s. Hell of a bounce, hell of a bounce. Wrong side of the move is what we were on. I was on the wrong side of the move, and again, amazing bounce. And you guys can see that kind of play out in real time there. Now what we would be looking for here is, let's see if we get some continuation follow through on this bounce, and if we do, you know, we might have something to work with here. 1 hour chart. 1 hour chart looks like it's ready to push up higher, at least into the 50. Still kind of stuck right here at this Bollinger Band. Need to kind of take out the highs there. If we can start taking out these highs of the previous candle that closed over the 20, then maybe we got a little bit of room. Last trade I was in did stop me out, guys. Just let everyone know. Was stopped out of the last trade. Aggressive candle here. Anytime we get these aggressive candles like this, you want to be thinking, we're going to go back in on this trade here. We're going to give ourselves, now what we're going to do here is, this is going to be a hell of a stop loss here, but because we're playing micros, we can manage this. We're going to put a stop loss under this whole period of structure here. So if we look at the structure here from the original breakout, we get the first back test, we get the push higher, we get the pullback. This whole structure here below the 30s is going to be the stop loss now, and we're going to continue to let this ride. Now we're giving ourselves a lot of room for this trade to work out. We've got 2 hours left of the market, so let's kind of see what we're doing. We're currently up $40 on this trade. Again, for somebody who is looking to take this trade for the first time, we're looking for 15-20 points, right? 15-20 points. If you can get 15-20 points and start to test this area up here, right? If you can start to test the 80s again, might be a good spot to take some profits. If you can start testing the high 70s or 80s, that's what we would be looking for. Notice these Bollinger Bands extremely tight. If this price action starts breaking the Bollinger Bands, that's when you're going to see prices start to accelerate into the 80s here, and over the 80s does have room to push back to 200. That's 30 points away. So what I would be looking at here, you know, if I'm just kind of looking at the market, if we get back into, right, if we get back into the 80s and start to get over the 80s and we can push to 200s, you know, that would put the NASDAQ up 20-30 points, which is not it's not undoable, right? Like I can see the NASDAQ going up 20, 30, 40 points today. I could also see the NASDAQ closing down 40, 50 points today, right? And what would that be? Pretty much a scratch day, right? That's a break even day on the NASDAQ, a little up, a little down, you know, little this, little that. But it's days like today where traders can get chopped up. Like you can see, I won the initial trades that I was in this morning early. And then, you know, I lost on the last 2 trades, kind of scratching even. So it's like a break even day. So you want your P&L, like if the market is flat, you don't want to be negative, right? If the market's flat and you're green, you did a hell of a job, right? If the market's flat and your P&L's kind of flat, break even, well then you were right along with the market. We get a better day tomorrow, right? We get a better day tomorrow. That's the way you need to look at it. What you want to keep in mind is that if the market's flat and the market's choppy, but you're down heavy, deep red, that means that you're in your head, you're emotional, you're doing all sorts of things, you're not respecting rules, you're just taking trades for the sake of taking trades. We want to be green today, or we want to be flat. We want to be with the market. If the market's green or if the market's flat, we want to be flat or green. If the market's flat, the last thing we want to do is be significantly deep red. Up $62 on this last long position here. So I got in at a price of 65. We're currently trading at 73, so up about 8-9 points. If this thing can give me 15-20 points, I'll just consider taking it and chopping it up for the day. Anyone look at Carvana today? Carvana. They were coming for $35 calls. We got all the way up to 34.18 on Carvana today. Huge pop on Carvana. Big break over the linear regression channel. A little bit of a double top here. Came all the way back down to the breakout, and now we're kind of climbing higher. What does the daily chart look like? Daily chart is on a full breakout here. Daily chart on Carvana was 29.80. 29.80 on Carvana, and it's up at $33 on a $30 stock. You're up $4. That's a hell of a move. I kind of told the guys in Discord today that, you know, when I was watching options flow, when I was trading options, that they were coming in for $35 weekly expirations on Carvana. It got pushed to 34. If anyone was long Carvana in the 29s and 30s and you did not sell at 34, we got problems. Looking at the daily chart on the NQ, back test the 20-day moving average, putting in a little bit of a hammer candle here. If we can start to pop and test the 60s, 15-260s here and get over, we could be looking at a nice bounce here this week. Not today, obviously. So we came up, tested this Bollinger Band. Came up and tested this Bollinger Band. Now we're on a pullback here. Again, we would have to hold the 57s. Would be looking for a continuation over 7.5s. Look for the continuation over 7.5s to potentially test the 80s. Again, stop loss is going to have to be, you know, depends on how tight of a risk you want to keep it. If you're already profitable, you know, and you want to take your 8, 9, 10 points, you know, be my guest and take it. If you're already green on the day, you know, if you're already green on the day and this is just like a cash flow move, yeah, I really wouldn't risk anything anymore. There's the 75. So again, if we're looking this current position that I'm in, up $100, $108 here, my entry price is 65. So there's our 10 points. There's our 13 points. If you want to start taking profits, start to lock those in. Again, here we go, starting to push up a little bit higher here. 120 profit on 4 contracts, 110 dropping a little bit. What we can do here is we can take half, right? So we can take half, and now we can move our stop loss, right? We can move our stop loss. I sold right as we made that next push. We can move our stop loss to here, below the 20 period moving average. So let's move our stop loss. We had our original stop loss down here below structure at around 1530s. Let's move our stop loss up to the 50s, okay? So on our 2 remaining running contracts, we're going to move our stop loss up to the 50s. If this breaks below the 20 period moving average, we'll get out of the trade. If not, we'll continue to hold this. This last 2 contracts are up $72. So guys, even if you're trading 2 micros and you're up $70, take your money, please. $75 on 2 micros. Just take it. Do that 2 or 3 times a day, right? Do that 2 or 3 times a day. If they didn't catch me on that on this red candle here, if they didn't catch me on that, man, I'd be up over 250 today. Had to crawl my way back, guys. I had to crawl my way back, right? So now we're above this Bollinger Band here, and we're kind of testing, you know, that first hour's highs. We're in this area here. So that's what we need to be looking at. This is why we're having trouble breaking through these two areas of structure. Our supply here is here at the 200s. $72 on these contracts. I'm just going to get out because I don't want to mess around with this anymore. Don't want to mess around with that anymore. So again, if we just kind of recap that trade, right? Let's recap that trade, okay? So we got in because we closed over the 20 SMA. Our entry price is in the 60s, 64, 65, 63, and we ran up to a price of 89. Guys, 20 points. What did we talk about? Take 10, 15, 20 points. Take 10, 15, 20 points. If you can continue to do that, where you're taking 10, 15, 20 points, you know, you're going to be all right. You'll take some losses, but you'll be all right. Yeah, I mean, I've got some guys who trade those Hakanashi candles. I just can't get a good feel for the market. I just feel like, you know, it makes everything look green. Everything looks red. You know, I don't know. Personally, I just have never used them. And with the amount of time that I've been trading, you know, the last, you know, 6, 7, 8 years, I just, to learn new candlesticks would be tough. I personally, for me, I like seeing the red. I like seeing the green, because I like to know, like when we're pushing up like this, and then now we have green, green, red, green, red, green. I like to see, you know, where are we closing? Are we closing at support? Like I don't know. For me, it's just, I can't really give an opinion on them because I've never used them. Now we're at the 90s, guys. So original entry price was 65. 65s. We're currently trading at the 90s. 25 points, guys. Anyone who took that last long over the 20 SMA, take your profits. Or at least take half size. Got room to test 200, but again, take your profits. Half size. Move your stop loss to break even on your runners. Pushing back into the 90s, 91. Hourly candle is right here testing the 50 SMA. So we are coming into a level of supply here. So if you are long off of that bounce, understand we are at a level of supply. You could get a little bit of a pullback here. If we do start to take out the 90s, our next stop is going to be 200s, 210. Okay. So if we start to slow down and price starts to pull back, understand we are at an hour level of supply. Hour level of supply. We need to get over the 50 SMA on that 1 hour time frame to have any more room to kind of run. Then from there, we'll have room into the 200s, 209, 210, so forth and so forth. So we had a great entry, man. We had a really good entry here. I just didn't hold it in long enough. 65s all the way up to 92. That's 28 points, 27 points. I think I took maybe 20 points. One thing that I do want to note, high, lower high, lower high. Now we've broken the previous lower high and now testing this area here. So we could come into the 97s to 203s. That's probably going to act as some level of resistance. Again, I think max potential today is around 210, 212 if the market continues to push the next hour and a half. If not, I can see us coming right back into the middle of the range. Again, as we get this late in the day, you don't really want to be chasing so many moves, right? You don't want to be chasing so many moves. With that being said, guys, if you guys did enjoy this stream, it was a little bit of a cluster, you know what, to start on the first stream, came back, showed you guys some analysis, talked for a little bit. If you guys want to join the Discord, that link is down in the description box below. If you guys want to learn the strategy in depth, evolutiontraders.com. You get access to these style of videos, commentary, along with, you know, a video voice call. We can go ahead and go over some training with that. But I'll see you guys all on the next video. I'm going to hit the gym. Actually, not hit the gym. I'm going to go for a little run today. I'm going to try a jog. Sun's out over here in California, so I want to get that sun. But I'll see you guys all on the next video. Hope you guys liked it. Also, please make sure to like before I get off. I only got a few people on here. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Hit the like button for me so YouTube knows that people are actually watching this, and people will more people will get shown this video. Kind of just, yeah, so what I'm going to try to do with these live streams, so normally in the Discord, in my Discord, I trade options in the morning, right? So I'm trading with my guys in the morning. We're doing options. What I'm going to start doing, like, I don't know, I might mix them in too early in the morning, but my plan was, when we get into New York lunch hour, when I'm kind of done with my day trading options, was come over here and look more towards futures, and then kind of look around at some stocks too as well. But I want to do a little live trading, right? I want to do a little live trading with everyone, as I do the live trading with options in the room already, but I figured I'd do the futures with everyone here. And just kind of go over these strategies. So the whole purpose here, this is probably going to be some like a little bit of a series. What I wanted to do is, today I signed up with a new prop firm, not a new prop firm, I'm already funded with Topstep, but a new account, right? So I'm going through a new evaluation to get more funding. And my goal is to just teach my strategies on live chats with very, very small size, and just show that it's possible. Just show that, you know, you can trade 2, 3, or 4 micro contracts and still make good money, right? You can still pull in $100 a day, $200 a day, $300 a day. Today, yeah, there was some moves short. We had to move long, we had to move short, but it's a rangy day, right? So it's choppy. It's top of the range, it's the bottom of the range. Wait till you have a day where it's just kind of trending all day or trending down all day. You can make $400, $500, $600 trading 3, 4 micros. And that's what I just kind of want to show. So I want to show that it's possible to, you know, make $100, $200, $300 a day trading these micros. We were at a 150, 160 on the day today, took one loss. You know, it happens, right? It happens. So kind of took me back to break even. And then this last long play ended up putting me in the green, close to $100. I think it's like 70 or 80 bucks on the day. But again, what I want to focus on is that if you think about this, before I leave and get off this video, if you think about this, $60, $80 doesn't seem like a lot, and it's not, right? Like $60 is not even going to fill up my gas tank here in California, right? $80 is pushing it. But if you do this 2 days, 3 days, 4 days out of the week, that $80 turns to 160, turns to 240, turns to 300. You can make $300, $250 a week very, very conservatively. Like, you can do it on one trade, but like, you can really do it conservatively, 250, 350 a week. And if you times that times 4 weeks, right, that's $1,000 a month. Okay, Not a lot, by no stretch of the means. I'm not here to say that you can make $1,000 a month and act like that's, you know, outstanding. But if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 funded accounts, and now you're making $800, $1,000 per account, now we're talking $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month, $10,000 a month. My goal here is to get up to at least $500,000, $1 million in prop firm money. Funny money is what I call it. I want to get up to about $500,000 of funny money, and I want to start taking those withdrawals. I want to try to focus on really taking $1,000 a month out to start per account, and I want to kind of document that. So that's why I started these live streams. Because normally I just make a shit ton of video recaps and technical analysis videos on my options trades, but being that I'm doing something a little bit new for my business, I feel like I want to document that a little bit more. I want to document that a little bit more. But and it also helps, right? It also helps when you can see like other people doing it. Like I know in the very beginning when I first started off, 8 years ago, I went at it by myself for like a year straight, right? And I lost a bunch of money. I was trading a lot of small cap stocks, a lot of biotech companies and stuff, shorting gap ups and fading, the big runs. And then, it just really wasn't for me. I didn't really like doing that. I liked, trading mega cap stocks. Like for me, I trade Tesla and Nvidia almost religiously, almost daily, right? Tesla and Nvidia, pay my mortgage. They really fund my life. But the point I'm trying to make is that, the more money that you manage, the more you discipline yourself, and the more you kind of learn the strategies in real time, whether you're watching somebody, whether you're learning with someone, learning their strategies, it really, really helps. I really didn't, break ground until I got with a mentor, which is a close family friend, right? So it's close family friend that, ex Wall Street guy, right? And he kind of took me through the ropes and showed me a lot of this stuff and the way that the market moves. And again, it's just all strategies, right? It's all strategies, but the main thing is mindset. The main thing is mindset, understanding and controlling your emotions, right? I can teach anyone how to read a chart in 30 days or less, right? If you don't have a strategy or you're looking for a strategy, I'll teach you how to build out a trading plan. What I can't teach you is to click the buttons, right? I can't teach you to stop out when you're supposed to. I can't teach you to, not have FOMO. I can't teach you to not have an ego, and I can't teach you to, have a strong bias that allows you to sit and draw down all day and not stop out. I can't teach that, but I can teach you how to read charts, and I can definitely help you with mindset. That's a fact, and it's doing things that you don't want to do. Doing the hard things. It's like you got to do things that you're supposed to do, but don't want to do, right? So like we don't want to take a loss. Who wants to take a loss? I don't, but you have to, right? You got to take the loss, So it's doing those things that you're supposed to be doing and doing them consistently. And I have drills for that. I got like mindset drills and practices that really help people. I mean, it really, really helps people, because this is like one of the only businesses that you can do pretty much on your own. You can make a lot of money doing it. You can work for yourself, and I always play, little mind games with myself, and I play, little tricks, right? Like I'm just a retail trader, right? I do this full time. So I do rely on my trading income to live. But, I treat it as a profession. I treat it as, I'm really managing multiple six figures in capital. And, I'm looking for that strong return on investment per month, right? So the more capital that I can manage, right? The more assets that I manage, the more money I can make. So that's why I started this stream, to kind of outline getting another funded account. And as soon as I get this one funded, I'll do it again. And until I can max out with Topstep, which is 3 accounts. and we'll see. This is a $50,000 account. I'm currently funded on a $100,000 account. So the next one I do will probably be another $50,000 account and kind of take that to 200,000. And then I've got a couple $100,000 with Apex, another $100,000 with Surge Trader. And then that's not including my personal brokerage account. That's the baby. The personal brokerage account's the baby. And that's what I want to focus on for everyone too. Your personal account, that's the baby. You use these prop firms, you use these payouts. These are stepping stones. These are tools. They're tools, right? They're tools. They're not an end all be all. It's not like, oh my God, I can get funded $100,000. I'm rich. Oh my God, I have a $100,000 funded account. I'm a Wall Street trader. No, like you gotta add to them. You got to build them. You got to nurture them. You got to take profits. You got to roll them into your personal account. You got to learn a skill set over there, whether you're going to trade stocks, options, or futures on a personal account. And you got to keep it going. You got to keep it going, right? Keep it going. So we pulled all the way back in here to the 5-minute, 10 and 20 hourly chart, got rejected at the 50 SMA. So one level that I'll be looking at here going forward is if we start to lose the 30s. Again, we've already spoke about this level before, but if we start to lose the 30s here, we got a lot of room down. This could probably be a good short trade. This we're kind of trapped within a range here. We're trapped. We're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, we're up and down. We really need to start losing the lower half of this range, or we need to start busting out to the top. Right now, it's all about taking some scalps and trying to get the cash flow quick, because the moves they're not really holding, they're reversing a lot, right? So if this green candle takes out red, there might be an opportunity here. Again, you would have to use a 1-bar stop. I like using 1-bar stops because it just keeps you true to the game, keeps you true to the rules, keeps you safe. You're not going to really lose too much. You can afford to take multiple trades. And if we don't use a 1-bar stop, then it's like for example, let's say this green candle was to take out this red candle and we get in long. I might use a 1-bar stop or use the 10 SMA as my stop, or the 20, right? So if I'm looking for 15-20 points on the NAS, I might risk 10-15 points on the NAS. Again, and I don't really like saying that, because when people are like, well, how much money should I risk on my, how much percentage should I risk, or how much dollar amount? I never look at that. Like I don't look at like, I'm only going to lose 200. It's like, I let my trades work, and wherever it breaks me out, like wherever it stops me out technically, that's my stop loss. And then from there, if it's a $200 loss and I want to stop trading on the day, I'll stop trading on the day. If it's only a $50 loss, then I'll keep going, right? If it's like a $300 loss, I've got to stop trading, especially on these smaller accounts, and I'll just come back the next day. So it's like, I don't really use a hard dollar amount, because how many times have we been in trades where like you get stopped out because you didn't want to lose no more than $150, and then it reverses and continues to go in the favor you thought it was going to go in? It's like, I really let the charts work. Like they have to work. But yeah, I mean, action's slowing down a lot. I don't really see too much potential here. Only real potential I see is a break over the 50 SMA, over the 95s, or below the 35s. Those are the only two trades that I really see. Everything else is chop. Everything else is going to be tricky. Tricky, tricky. Carvana does look good though. Yeah, GameStop, what about it? People still play that thing? Carvana with the hell of a breakout over the $30 all the way into 33, 34. They were coming for $35 calls this morning. This is going to be the first close here. If we look at the weekly chart on Carvana, this is the first week. Obviously today's the first day of the week, but we're starting to get the breakout here on Carvana over its 50 EMA over $30.52. Carvana looks like a good swing. GameStop. I can't believe people are still looking at that. Doesn't look like much. 57 cents today. Doesn't look like much. No money there. Yeah, well, I mean, what are you waiting for? You know, like buy and hold, right? Isn't that what they say? You guys are holding for better days, right? Everyone's holding for better days on this thing. I mean, I mean, I'm a day trader. Like I don't really see nothing on it. It's up 2% today, but it's 59 cents. Like you can go trade something like Tesla and take $3 off of it. What are we messing around with 50 cents? My thoughts. Are you being for real, or are you fucking with me, bro? If you're for real, I'll tell you what I really think about it, but oh shit. So, okay, like if you just really break this down, right? The chart, it looks like shit, okay? Just like, okay, so if you really look at it, like the last lows that we had, right, going back a couple of months, right, we had the big gap up here in March. We kind of faded off, right? So we had the gap up on earnings. We kind of faded off. We put in these lows at around $18. So yeah, if anyone got in at $18, $19, $20, okay, you're up $3. That's a hell of a move. You take your profits on it. Depends on what your average price is or where you're looking to trade it at. So you had the run up that went to around June the 13th. You had those recent highs of $27, okay? So you had recent highs of $27 and then it faded all the way back. So where did we fade to, right? Where did we fade to? We faded all the way back to the 50 EMA and the 200 SMA, okay? You're still above your daily 50-day moving average. So we pulled back into strong levels of support, okay? So yes, we are above those strong levels of support. And you can see last week we pulled right back into it again, strong levels of support. So here's my analysis on this. If you want to go long, use a stop around 2150. That's your stop. Hold it after that. It goes below 2150, 2130s, get out. Anything other than that, you're holding for 2380s, you're holding for 2420s, you're holding for 2450s, and then your max potential is like $26. If this thing wants to like get going, right? If it wants to get going, you're looking for like $26. If you're 2130s, yeah, 2130s would be like a hard stop. That's your last support. It's the 150-day simple moving average on the daily time frame. So 2130s would be like your hard stop. So you would be risking $2 on this trade to potentially make $2-3. It's like a 1-to-1. I'm not saying it has to go down to 2130s, but I'm just saying if you want to make it tighter of a stop, use $22 as a stop. That would be below today's lows. Like you can tell yourself this: if we hold today's lows, right? You guys can't even see the chart. Let me zoom it over. If we hold today's lows, just stay long. If we lose today's lows, we're coming down to 2160 and 2130. So this is a bullish candle. All right, it's a bullish candle, but again, it doesn't move much. Like the stock doesn't move much. So my point is that even though it's on support, it's holding the 50, the 200. Yeah, it's holding that, but it's not like GME back in the day where this thing's going to move 20, 30 points in a day. It's going to move up 50 cents, a dollar 50 max, you know? So what you're looking for is like 2380s. You're looking for like 2450s. That's what you're looking for. Like if you can get 25 bucks off this name, like if it starts breaking 25 bucks, then potentially you can see 26s, but that's about it. So today's low as a stop. It's just a hold from here. It's just a hold from here. Your stop loss is around $22. And if you want to be more aggressive with your stop loss is 2130s. That's about it, brother. If you're playing options on it, give yourself some time. Give yourself at least a month. Yes, sir. But I mean, are you playing options or are you buying shares? Because there's other stocks that you can buy that you can get $1 off of every single day. You know? Like that's the only reason why I don't look at those names that much, because there's other names that we can play that we can get more money off of on a daily basis. So I'm back on futures now. I'm looking at this green candle take out this little bit of a red candle here, pulled right back into the 10 SMA. We're getting a little bit of a pop candle here. We do have room to push back into the 87s. If we can take out the 87s and get over 90s, this thing maybe could fly into power hour. First off, what size is your account? And this is not to put you on blast or anything, but like, are you over or under $10,000 in your account? I'll just say that. My favorite top 3 is Tesla, Nvidia. I trade those. And then I'll mix in Meta, or I'll mix in Apple, AMD, stuff like that. But mainly I'm looking at Nvidia and Tesla daily. Yeah, Tesla, Nvidia, Meta, Apple, AMD. Yeah, that's what I'm focused on. Like today I also shorted Google, so I'll play Google when I have a setup. But like anything big tech, I trade NASDAQ 100, so anything big tech I'll trade. That's what I trade. And it's like, if you look at the moves, right? For example, like if you look at Tesla today, right? I know options are a little bit more expensive. So like, look at the move on Tesla today. First 5-minute candle breaks down, takes out pre-market lows, closes below the 20 SMA, 250 closes, right? Looks like a short. We get the confirmation at 6:35 in the morning. I know that I want to take profits here. So if we lose the level of demand, I want to be selling at the next level of demand. So my entry price was a confirmation below the first 5-minute candle, below 274. I'm looking to take profits into demand, which is sitting at 272. So that's a $2 trade in a matter of 15 minutes. So while someone's waiting 2 weeks for a potential dollar move on GameStop, you could have made $2 in 15 minutes. That's why I don't look at those type of plays. I just stick to trading NAS, stick to trading tech. But again, there's more risk associated. Like these contracts are selling for $500, $600, $700 sometimes. So, but like one contract, $2, you can make $200-$300 a contract if you get a move for $2. So that's what I'm looking at majority of the time. Took a little bit of a scalp play here on this little bit of a pop, right? As we came into the 20, we have the new candle that took out the previous small candles. Just looking for a pop here into the Bollinger Band for a little scalp play to kind of end the day. Just going to exit that position. So we're going to finish the day at around $100 on the combine. Again, just kind of messing around with it on the first day. But the majority of what am I trying to say here? The moral of the story here is I took like 5 trades on stream, 4 trades on stream, all traded micros. Couple of them won, couple of them lost, still was up $100. The point I'm making is that $100 is not shit, right? Like I can go to dinner tonight and like that can barely pay for my dinner, like a nice dinner, right? Like I can get a steak and an appetizer and a glass of whiskey, and that's $100 for myself. But what I'm saying is that if you can do that 3-4 times out of the week, you're looking at an extra $300 to $400, $1,200 a month times 2 accounts, 3 accounts, 4 accounts. Now you're at 3, 4, 5, 6,000. Grow. It's about growing. It's about growing. It's not about trying to make $10,000 today. I'll tell you that much right now. All right, guys, I'll catch you guys all later. If you guys want to join the Discord, that link is down in the description box below. If you guys want to get access to all of my strategies, evolutiontraders.com, and I'll see you guys all on the next video.